Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from Tales from the Front Desk. Story 1 is by SoupLover5. I was given an edible arrangement. I have a good tale to tell today. Many years ago at a huge resort, which was in the top 10 locations for that company, I was a front desk supervisor. A woman came to check in with her family, but she had booked through an Airbnb scammer and had no real reservation. Basically, the Airbnb scammer lists a unit, collects money from a renter, and never calls the resort to actually book the reservation and give us the money. The corporate reservations team basically said if we can get proof of payment, we could just build the reservation and call it a day. I saw we had some open availability, so I had her forward the Airbnb email to me as her proof of payment, built a reservation, and checked her in for a week. Normally, I wouldn't do that because A, I know the company didn't get paid. B, guests are not usually nice enough for me to bend the rules. But this woman said it was her first vacation in a really long time with her family, and she was the sweetest guest I'd met to date. Was not angry at me for the issue when I told her a reservation didn't exist and she might have been scammed. So I didn't mind giving her a room for free, especially because I was overworked and underpaid and didn't care about the company. The next afternoon, I came in for my shift around 2 p.m. and there was an edible arrangement in the fridge for me with a note card thanking me saying I made her vacation. She came down later to personally thank me again for sorting it all out for her and her family. And the edible arrangement was delicious. If, like me, you see the word edible and you immediately think it's got to be something with some sort of drug in it, then you're not alone. There's a lot of people who thought that's what the edible arrangement was. But no, I believe it was just fruit or chocolate or something. But there are also places that sell flowers that you can eat as well. So maybe it was just actual flowers that you can eat. Our next story is by Other Cantaloupe 4765. Dude demands a knife to scrape off a chip in the floor tile. Gets angry and stares at me from the lobby when I don't give him one. Weirdest crap. Lol. Look, my hotel is ranked number 1 out of all the hotels under that brand in the nation. It's spotlessly clean. All the standards are high. However, in the men's bathroom in the lobby, there's a chip in the floor tile. A fairly small one that has been there since I started working there over 2 years ago. The maintenance guy, quote, fixed, quote, it with some kind of ceramic or epoxy putty that hardened and was smoothed over. But it's a different color than the tiles, so it sticks out. Why do they leave it like that instead of redoing it with putty that matches the tile color? F if I know. It's near the edge of the wall in the corner. So this older dude in his 70s with a cane came up to the desk all upset saying that there was a, quote, piece of gum, quote, stuck to the floor in the lobby bathroom and that he wanted it gone immediately. I kind of chuckled to myself and said, "That's not a piece of gum, sir. That's where the crack in the tile was fixed." "No, it's not. It is gum." I assure you it's not. I've swept, mopped, and scrubbed over that spot for 2 years now, and it's not gum. I know it's not a chip in the tile because I bent down and scratched it real hard with my fingernails until a little piece came off. First of all, effing ew. Second of all, if you thought it was gum, why the F would you deliberately choose to get it under your fingernails? Dude. Meanwhile, his grown daughter is waiting for the elevator, trying to get him to give it up, and he keeps waving her off and ignoring her. She and I just exchange exasperated looks with each other, and she goes upstairs. I just went with, "I will let housekeeping know about it, sir." This made him even more annoyed, and he said, "No, just give me a knife and I'll do it myself." "No, housekeeping will take care of it." "Give me a knife so I can do it myself." "Housekeeping will take care of it." "Go get me a knife right now." "Sir, I am not getting you a knife to do this. I said I will let housekeeping know, and I will." He grumbled and got mad and said, "Fine, I'll just wait in the lobby until someone gets me a knife or until I can watch them clean it." "All right, more power to you, bro." He sits down in the lobby and stares at me. I ignore him while checking in a few people, and he continues to stare at me. WTF, man. My new coworker said he's going to go look at it. Okay, dude, you go check that out. So he goes into the bathroom, and this old guy gets up and stands literally right in front of the closed bathroom door. A few seconds later, the door opens, and this old guy immediately starts on in. Excuse me, sir, there is gum on the floor in that bathroom. It was so ridiculous, I was just laughing with my head in my hands back in the office. I hear my coworker say, yes, sir, I'm aware of your concerns. It's not gum, it's just a repair patch on the chipped tile. Old man grumbles and insists it's not, and told him to get out of the way so he could go in there and scratch it off with his fingernails. Coworker says, please do not do that, sir. Well then, give me a knife. Look, I will let our maintenance guy know. That's what I can do for you right now, okay? Old guy turns around, grumbling to himself about how we're lying and nobody wants to work anymore, and if we'd only give him a knife, etc., laughing my butt off. Crazy dude, it ain't gum. It doesn't look like gum. WTF. The guy was very obviously concerned with it. He sounds like he's a little bit OCD. So I would have either gone with him or gotten somebody who works there to go with him and check to make sure it's not gum on the floor. Bit of a silly thing to get all bent out of shape over, but people are weird. People are different. Different strokes for different folks. Our next story is by The Bedford Reader. Got caught in the hurricane. As most of you Texans know, a Category 1 hurricane rolled in last night. It hit us at about 5 a.m. while I was working. I had time to make 2 batches of breakfast before the power went out at around 7:15 a.m. I was supposed to leave at 7, but nobody could get to work safely, so I ended up having to be there until 11 a.m. I know a lot of people work 12 hours, but it is not for me. I could barely do it. Luckily, so many of my guests were understanding, and people who came down were more interested in watching the storm from the doors than tormenting me with silly questions. I'm finally home and can't sleep even though I'm exhausted. My boss says that after I left, 5 different guests came down and told him how awesome I was. That felt good, but I felt like a fraud because I broke down and cried in the back for a good 10 minutes. Had multiple anxiety attacks and tried to get my husband to come help me, and then cried again when he literally couldn't. Yes, I am getting paid extra for this. Any amount of money is definitely not worth the stress that it sounds like you went through. But you held down the fort in a very stressful time, and a dangerous time. Hurricanes are no joke. They can be quite dangerous, and you don't want to be stuck in one, that's for sure. It's much nicer to be stuck at home. I can't imagine being stuck at work during a hurricane. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have another cool day, because it is, again, way too hot.